state of Arizona. General, welcome back to the program.
Thank you, Tony, once again for having me on.
So you were the first state to file legal action against this mandate. The basis of your challenge?
In short, Tony, you know that our rights come from God, not from government. And as the clip you just played showed, the Biden administration has this idea, this old progressive notion that they know what's best for everybody. And I always say to folks that, what does the Constitution say? The Biden administration, the president has no power anywhere in the Constitution to force anyone to inject anything into their body. And it's as simple as that. The 9th Amendment, the 10th Amendment, prohibit that president from doing it. So we have filed a lawsuit saying he doesn't have that authority. And even if he did have that authority, it's a violation of the Equal Protection Clause because he's literally said that if you don't have legal status in this country, you have the choice whether to get the vaccine or not. But if you're a federal employee, if you're a marshal, a border patrol agent, wherever you work, you have to get it. And we think that not only violates the Equal Protection Clause, but it's just fundamentally wrong.
General, you heard the president's comments equating what you, other leaders are doing to protect the rights of people, equating that to bullying in the schools. How do you respond to that?
It's unfortunate that the president would use that kind of language. And, obviously we're all of God's children, so I would be careful what I would say. But I think that was one of the worst speeches by a president in the history of this country. And here's why I think that, Tony, is that there's this fundamental misunderstanding of the nature of government and the people. As I said, our rights come from God, not from the government. And Joe Biden is the one that's acting like a third-world dictator by trying to dictate to people what they should or shouldn't do. And I think the reason why so many people are so worried about this is that not only is it a massive concentration of power in Washington, D.C., but if we let President Joe Biden get away with this, then in the future, what's to stop any president from basically telling you what you can and can't do with your own personal health care decisions? And so I think this is a radical intrusion. It's unconstitutional. And we know that issues of public health, safety, and welfare were traditionally left to the states. But I think this is ultimately what you get, Tony, when we've seen the erosion of our institutions, whether that's the family, whether it's in law enforcement, and you have this concentrated effort by the left to concentrate power in Washington, D.C. And if we don't fight that now, we're going to forever surrender our rights and liberties to a most powerful federal government that's going to trample on our rights and liberties.
I think you're absolutely right. And I think it's hard for people to believe the administration saying they're only following the science, when on the very same day the president announced this sweeping vaccine mandate, that his own Department of Justice filed suit against the state of Texas over their heartbeat bill, saying that every woman should have a right to choose to abort their unborn baby, but yet Americans can't have the right to choose whether or not they should affect their own body with a vaccine.
The Biden administration has proved that they are very hostile, quite frankly, to religious liberties and anyone that disagrees with them on fundamental issues about all life, the dignity of life, and the fact that religious institutions should be able to run their churches, their synagogues, how they want to. And so you have this attempt by the federal government to get into our lives and control things, but then they don't want to protect innocent life. And I think this is, once again, this old progressive notion that started with Woodrow Wilson, that we saw in the eugenics movement, that we saw even through FDR, where you have these progressive liberal elites that think they are the ones that created rights. The government is designed to pick and choose winners and losers, and they know what's best. And they want these elites and these experts, so-called, to run our government agencies and run our lives. And that's why it's so important, and I know you know this, Tony, for us to fight back and return the balance with sovereignty in the states and to not cede all this power. And whether it's nationalizing our elections and all this stuff about, taxing and spending, once again, all that is designed to concentrate power in Washington, D.C., and we got to fight it.
Well, General Brnovich, your running point on this, you're certainly fighting it, but you're not alone. You've got a majority of the states, when you look at the Republican governors and your counterparts, the attorney generals in other states, they're with you on this.
And that's true. And I think that this isn't a political issue. I think that folks understand fundamentally this isn't an issue of right versus left, but it's an issue of right versus wrong. And it's about the dignity of all of us as human beings. And I think that's fundamentally what the Biden administration doesn't understand. And so I've said to people that this is like a naval battle where this is just the first torpedo in the water. So there will be many more. I know there's a lot of friends, my colleagues, they're going to do everything they can. And ultimately, as people of faith, we have to rely on the fact that we will have the wisdom to do justice. And that's what I'm trying to do.
Well, General Brnovich, we appreciate your leadership on this, and we appreciate you joining us today and look forward to talking to you again soon.
You, Tony. God bless.
All right, Attorney General.